Hello, friends, or Namaskar, dosto. I'm sure most of you are used to this familiar, lovely face that's right next to me on a screen. Yeah, so there is no need for a special introduction as you are already well acquainted with the personality and the work of my brother in arms, so to say. Before we start, just a few sentences from my side, in the spirit of a joyfully and activated, powerful Mangal Mahadasha in my life 2 days ago, 24th of March. Um, I would like to say the following, that I will strike upon with great vengeance and furious anger all of you who didn't subscribe to this channel, okay? And hit that bell icon as well. So now that you know what needs to be done, you can slowly move into that direction. And of course, all jokes aside, Bahut Bahut Dhanyavad, thank you very much, Puno Hvala. Visti, mere pyare bhai, how are you doing? And
Brate moj,
brate moj, yes.
brate moj.
And before we start, aside of how are you doing, actually, I want to ask you one thing about the trip and the teachings in Bengal.
Hmm.
How did it went, and how are you doing before you start?
Bengal was beautiful. Bengal is always beautiful. I really enjoyed that part of the country. Distinctly, we were out in the West Bengal, in the in the a bit more in the wild. It's pretty much jungle around where we are in West Bengal. Chalsa, Bagdogra area,
Mhm.
really fantastic, and I look forward to spending some more time there. We've had, or this is our third event we've had there. It's obviously a workshop. It is for those who are part of a longer course. They are on their third year now. Goodness, third year. Yeah, it's something. They are going to be there. We're going to be doing this once a year for another 3 years. No, I know everybody would like to come and visit us and see how we're doing and what is this, you know, Gurukul type style of travel teaching that happens in these workshops. But this is secluded. It's private. It's just us and when you're in that scene and you're studying very hard and that intensity we get very easily distracted when somebody comes and we have difficulty grounding ourselves. So it's a bit so we'd prefer to be very secluded. So I'm not saying where we are exactly and what we're doing, but it's beautiful because we do get to do lots of pujas and lots of Jyotish. 20, they like to say it's 24/7 Jyotish, and I like to say no, no, they also sleep at night. But then they say they're dreaming Jyotish in between. I say they should get some more rest. Um, but it is beautiful and lovely. We are teaching the Jaimini Sutras. It's a very intense course. Those who are participating know this. And I have realized that it's possible I need to give them a bit more rest than they're getting with the feedback we've had. But it's a full-on Jyotish course, and Bengal just makes it so much sweeter. We're hoping to go further up into the mountains. I've heard great things about is it called Gangtok? Excuse me, Gangtok,
Yeah.
and also Kalimpong, which is not that far up in the mountains, but is lovely as well. And it's a part of India that I've also looked for because they have this interesting vibe that's also there in Orissa with a mix of Buddhism and Hinduism as well. In fact, the Orissa tradition is almost a Hinduism mixed with Buddhism. It's very interesting that way.
Yeah.
Um, and you see it as Hinduism, but then the depictions, the imagery, the culture has this interesting mix that's there as well. The concept of shunya in our tradition, people complained. They complained in back in the day when it was first introduced by the Panchasaka that, hey, this is Buddhism. What's this about? I said, no, no, this is Shunya Samhita, and there's a whole Samhita pertaining to that from our own Achyutananda Das.
Beautiful.
Um, Thank
Beautiful.
you for asking. It was lovely. Mhm.
So wonderful. Well, in our correspondence, actually, we presented and then went through certain ideas which you could connect and improvise and in a very useful whole. So, all for the purposes of recording this, a couple of videos about, we will talk about Shani and Gochara and so many other things. So, as they say, chalo chalte hai. The stage is yours, and what would you like to start with?
Chalo TK, we're doing it. Okay. And one of the topics you wanted to ask about was Bādhaka.
Yeah.
And so Bādhaka. Some time ago, I think I wrote it as part of my book actually. There's a section on Bādhaka. And in that, I cited Prashnamarga, which states that there are 11 types of hurt or evils or dangers or problems. And all 11 are not Bādhaka, not all of them. Like one of them is Shapa, for example, curses. But most of them are related to Bādhaka. Most of the evils or problems are related to Bādhaka in some form or the other. But when people take that and then they learn something called Badakhstan, they go in a direction which is inordinate. It's excessive. They take it to a direction that is too far. It's not useful, not appropriate, and highly misunderstood. Because Bādhaka, at its root, works from a concept of there are two types of Bādhaka. Bear with me. There are two types. The one that is most popularly used works from the perspective of what you don't know. Okay? So if we take a tangible example, a day-to-day example, let's say you went to your boss and said, I would like to change my team. That's a very common thing that happens. Very, very common. People are working in a certain office, scenario, department. They want to change either office, team, something like that. They want to stay in the company preferably, or even be deployed in a new company elsewhere, but under the same banner of that. So they have an interview with the boss on that topic, a meeting.
Yeah.
And the boss is on board. The boss's boss has also given the green light. Everybody, the department is set up, everything is set up, and then you wait. And then nothing happens. And then you ask about it and they don't give you an answer, or they say, oh, something happened, but they don't tell you what.
Right.
And then maybe even somebody else got that position, but you don't know why. Okay? That is also Bādhaka. Okay? That is also Bādhaka. Because when there is a lack of information and decisions are being made, when you are in lack of that information, Bādhaka got activated. But this was very minuscule. This was something small. You tried to get something, you didn't get it, but you don't know why. Okay? But Bādhaka did get activated. So Bādhaka can get activated in those circumstances, but Bādhaka implies there is a lack of knowledge. So if there is knowledge, Bādhaka was removed. AKA, if there are knowledge grahas in the Bādhak houses, Bādhaka is removed. So there's the other side of it. So which grahas have lots of knowledge? Usually benefics. Benefics have a lot of knowledge, including the sun. So we try to divide it into sattva grahas, have most knowledge, sun, Jupiter, moon, super knowledge. If you are saying, is there Bādhaka in my chart, and you see sun, moon, or Jupiter, there's no Bādhaka. Just forget it. There's no. All right?
Into
Oh, Visti.
Badakhshan.
Yeah, so I'm getting to Badakhstan here, but and then what about Venus and Mercury? They are very nice grahas. They are rajasic, but they are nice. Likely no Bādhaka associated with their position. Okay? Likely not. But the remaining, we have two nodes, Saturn and Mars, super at causing Bādhaka. They will make you absolutely dumb in this matter. All right? So when we learn this, we like to first divide this into the idea of how many grahas are giving you some brains? Which grahas are giving you knowledge? What type of knowledge are they giving you? If they are associated with Bādhaka, are they also giving you something out, giving you something out of that? And there things get very interesting. For example, let us take Rahu and Ketu. They are supposed to be tamasic grahas. They're supposed to keep you in ignorance. But if they aspect your ascendant or join or lord it, they make you very intelligent. Strange, you know what happened there? Because now the person's mind or brain is geared to find secrets.
Right.
Right?
The so-called unknown.
The unknown becomes a skill of yours. So when these Bādhaka planets aspect the Lagna, they start trying to give you a skill. Okay? Now, this is strange because I'm going to say something in a minute. All right? Whereas Saturn and Mars, they can give skill sets, but it's not brain power, it's brawn power, bronze, ability to fight. Now, I do complain about this Saturn and Mars. They can give you the ability to lie.
Okay. Yeah.
Saturn lies about relationships, Mars lies about money. Two topics to lie about. Okay? Saturn, personal life, relationships, meet who you met with, who you agreed with. Mars, about money. How much money is there? How many resources are there? How many tools are in the toolbox? They will lie. No, no, we have much more tools. Mars. All
Than
right.
that.
So
Yes.
those are the two things that are have to be dwelled on. In this, just keep in mind, Rahu can also lie, like Saturn. And Ketu can also make mistakes or exaggerate things, but it may not be a lie at that time. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, they don't make a Mars lie. They make a lie that is kind of what politicians do, like half. Is it so or is it not? Right? They could enough so they can correct the mistake later on. So it's a Ketu one.
Okay,
so
okay.
so that is how many politicians get away with saying untruths. They say half truths. Okay. So that is that game that is played over there, and especially when intelligence is involved, where they are looking for to the future to say, okay, is this going to damage me if I say this? Rahu and Ketu are actually the ones working there.
Mm.
So this is about knowledge, getting information and knowledge, because Bādhaka can be hidden, and your Lagna is trying to uncover that. So when we teach Bādhaka, we first teach that Bādhaka is based on the concept of drishti. If we teach it properly, we will teach drishti, and we will teach Rashi drishti. So when people say, oh, Visti, I don't know what to do with Rashi drishti, are you using Bādhaka? Yes, you're using Rashi drishti. Because when you're seeing any ascendant in a chart, then it has sign aspect from 3 other signs. One of them will be the Balakstam. Always.
Right.
Always.
Logic, yeah.
Okay? The 2 remaining will not be Bādhaka, but they have a little bit of ignorance in them, little bit of Bādhaka, little bit. Okay? Where we say the ascendant has 100% knowledge, the Bādhaka has 25% knowledge, 75% ignorance. And the remaining 2 signs have 50% and 25% ignorance. Okay? So the Bādhaka is the one with most ignorance, least knowledge, only 25, whereas the others get 50 and 75% knowledge, where the Lagna has 100%. So it's a scale. All right? It's a scale.
So it means
So
that the stupid person in the room is always the one making the problems.
ooh, you could say that, right? Yeah,
In a
that's
way.
not unreasonable. That's usually how the world works, right?
Mm.
And I mean, I saw this beautiful interview with somebody equating the knowledge that we have today, or rather information is the right word we should use, the information gathering we have today with how people were in the Stone Age, because it doesn't matter how much information you have. If it's wrong, you will make bad decisions. Okay?
Right.
And so that is how information is being shared today. If you have wrong information, you will make bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And we can call it, oh, it's biased information, but maybe somebody was deliberate in providing that information. And that is the problem with Bādhaka. Somebody could deliberately have given you wrong information. So when we talk of Bādhaka, then we say, all right, it is based on Rashi Drishti, and there are 3 signs which can cause Bādhaka, or 3 houses rather. If you're a movable sign, it's your 11th house. If you're a fixed sign, it's your 9th house. And if you're a dual sign, it's your 7th house. 7th, 9th, 11th. Notice that chain, okay? And we can derive it. We have a way of deriving it. Like if you put your finger on the ascendant and in Aries and put another finger on the 11th house, and then you move your one finger forward to Taurus and the other one backwards to Capricorn, you will find the Bādhaka for Taurus. You move the other finger of Taurus forward to Gemini and the other one backward from Capricorn to Sagittarius, you will find the Bādhaka for Gemini, which is Sagittarius.
Yeah.
So we have a derivation which is based on like a movement. Okay? There's a gati that is part of that. So Bādhaka, the one type of Bādhaka, which is house-based, is based on these houses of drishti. Mhm. There is another Bādhaka which has a very different function. Very, very different. We are not going to talk about that today. Mhm.
Okay.
It's for most people not terribly useful. And can lead to more fear than solutions. And I must do my best, in spite of us speaking about dire topics. And Jyotish is about solving problems. That's
Not to
why we do
confuse.
it.
Not to
And but
confuse.
I have to downplay the fear mongering that people do nowadays when it comes to Jyotish. And some people will say if people weren't in fear or worry, they would not come to astrologers. All right? Even if it was based on Jyotish or it was based on reality, it is many, many times a need to solve a problem that leads people to reach out to an astrologer. Mhm. And but I have to make sure that I do not suddenly get clients who just want to hear me speak about their Badakhstan. And I say, you have moon there, relax, let's see something else. All
Correct.
right. So I have to be sure and say, everybody has a Badaka, but it doesn't mean that it's going to cause you a problem. So in that 11th, ninth, 7th house, if you're a movable, fixed, or dual ascendant, like I forget your Aries ascendant, I think,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. 11th, yeah.
So I have to see Aquarius for you,
Yeah.
all right, to see
And
your Bādhaka.
mhm,
And immediately people will say, ooh, even if that Aquarius is empty, it still has Saturn and Rahu lording. There could be some mischief because they're normally mischief makers, those two, at least one of them, right, to say in a chart.
mhm,
And then it would be easy to attribute Bādhaka to that. But if you had just one sun or Jupiter or moon over there, even Venus or Mercury, not only will that planet over there say Bādhaka get lost, it is also because it aspects your ascendant, potentially providing you knowledge of something secret. Because if you can uncover secrets, that's of value to you as an astrologer, as an occultist, spiritualist.
right.
Okay? So now you may wonder, hey, Visti, you have just told me that it's possible even professions can be based on Bādhaka. And I say, you got it.
Mhm,
This can be a gold mine for astrologers, especially, or occultists, especially, because our job is to uncover something which is hidden. Mhm. What is Jyotisha? You know nothing, be placed in the dark room and try to find light. Okay? You're reading some symbols on a screen, and then you have discovered something that's happening in a person's life in years from now, or right now, which they are not aware of or will be aware of soon, or are aware of, but they didn't tell you.
yeah,
So having the ability to uncover Bādhaka is also a skill set if benefics are involved. Therefore, when we read Prashnamarga, it gives a statement. Oh, if you have Rahu in Badakhstan, but the sun has yoga with it, you will have great knowledge from the divine serpents. From the divine serpents.
mhm,
Because they're saying two things. Number one, the person is having Rahu over there. That's called Sarpa Bādhaka. All right. But the sun joined, a knowledge giver. Now there's knowledge from those serpents. So then what was the Bādhaka? Oh no, the Bādhaka is there. It's teaching the person to become a better, maybe astrologer, researcher, occultist. All right. So
okay,
Bādhaka is not a one-sided all problem street. No, it can give you great benefits. In fact, if somebody has come to me and I get many clients from India who have moved to the US. I am debating if the Bādhaka made them move because Bādhaka can give a positive Rahu effect of you leaving your country to live in a foreign country. Most of the time, if Bādhaka is negative, it actually inhibits a person from having a means to go abroad and live in a broader scheme. You have the blessing of having this beautiful knowledge coming from India, both in your spiritual practice and in your career profession. Bādhaka must be so happy with you. All right?
right,
The
right.
Badakhstan has become in glee with you. And this is the other side of Bādhaka. You could say, oh, Bādhaka is like Rahu, it's negative. Bādhaka can act like Ganesha removing obstacles. So it's a sliding scale. Is it Rahu or is it Ketu?
And very quickly, although, for instance, you mentioned my case, I have nothing in 11 Bhava. in Aquarius. But the thing is, the Shani is the Atma Karaka placed in exaltation in the seventh. So yes, I am a Jyotish, and it happened when the Shani matures in my life, actually, or
There you
something
go.
like that. Yeah,
So
yeah,
that knowledge matured, you could
yeah, yeah,
call
yeah.
it. The knowledge matured. And it does not mean you would not have had your own trials prior to that. The Bādhaka may have tested you a bit because Bādhaka has to train you. You need to do some weightlifting before you can take on that skill. All right.
Yes,
So if it's a malefic, if it's a Bādhaka, you will still be pushed a little bit, trained a little bit, so that you become better at spotting these issues. All right. So from that perspective, if the chart is saying, "Hey, there's a problem here, but there's a blessing in disguise," yeah, that's how it works. You see the problem, and then you start trying to figure out how to overcome it, and then it ends up becoming a skill set of yours.
right.
So Bādhaka does work like that. Yes, it does. And therefore, it's not appropriate for us to just scream problems when we see Bādhaka. Absolutely. It should be something we take and can sometimes treat with a pinch of salt and sometimes say, oh, maybe we need to address this.
Got it. Beautiful.